Hello there, this is Caroline, herbalist, naturopath and nutrition consultant, talking to you today about a most magnificent flower. A rose, by any other name, is not a rose. This has been quoted for eons and centuries by Shakespeare, by so many poets and mystics have always denoted the rose. It has a long history of being associated with gentry, with royalty, really with the gods and the goddesses. I mean, they would always use rose petals to strewn in front of the emperor as he walked down the streets in China. They would always, Cleopatra's there having rose petals in her bath with her asp milk as well, bless her. And it has just a magnificence to it, the rose. It really is the most delectable smell if you get a smelling variety, of which there are many. This is not, but this is the same colour as the rose damascena, which I used to cultivate in Cyprus and make it into rose water. So delectable. I mean, really, it's wonderful. The irony of life is that I married a Frenchman who thinks that, rose water smells like toilets because, of course, in France, they just put rose water in all the toilets to make them smell beautiful. So it always has a negative association for him. But for me, this is the most beautiful and I love it. It's used in cosmetics the world over. I mean, never mind the French toilet water, they use it in grass. The essential oil is used for the skin, particularly for beautification purposes, for aging and fine lines and thicker lines, and really good at tightening the skin and it's just wonderful. It is originated in Persia. Okay, and like I said, it has a long history with the gods and the goddesses. The goddess whose rose this is, whose flower this is, and from whence it came, is actually Aphrodite. She's the goddess of love and beauty, and her counterpart is Venus in the Roman mythology, but the Greek is Aphrodite. Living on Cyprus all these years, I know all about Aphrodite. That was her island. Anyway, the rose was given the name because Aphrodite's lover Apollo was injured, really injured, like he was going to die. He was injured chasing a wild boar, as you do, and he was injured, and so she was there crying over his body, and his blood was mixing with her tears, and from that love came the rose. And here she is. She's always been a symbol of hope. She's a symbol of beauty. She's a symbol of just this regal beauty, like this real strength in beauty. Like there's no other queen as there is of the flowers as this one. I mean, really, in some of my children's books as well, always the rose is the main flower. She's the queen. So medicinally, what does it do? It's got a lot of amazing effects, actually. Although, actually, the irony is in traditional herbal medicine, we don't use it, on a day-to-day. However, I do, after having spent many years in Cyprus. I mean, all my neighbours were there making triandafilo nero, which is rose petal water. They were adding that to shajuko and all these various desserts, paluzé, that they make. They also turn it into Turkish delights, Cypriot delights, depends where you're at in the world. It's used for so many things. You can make rose petal jam. They were really infamous in Cyprus making rose petal jam, and they always said to me, "Gori, it's good for stomaki." I was like, "Really?" And they say it's good for the stomach. And yes, it does have stomach balancing effects. And I have given the tincture to many people now to help calm a celiac's responses to gluten. So it's really it really soothes that kind of inflamed, aggravated gut. So it's a fantastic one. For the heart, it really is. It's a balancer for the heart. I find it particularly good for grief, for heartbreak, for all of these things. It's just soothing and nourishing. It's a wonderful herb. There's a lovely story I learned as well by this god called Zephyrus, and this is in the Roman mythology. God called Zephyrus, who was in love with Flora, who's the goddess of flowers. What a nice name for her, hey? So she's the goddess of flowers, and he loved her so much, but she had only eyes for the flowers, right? So he decided to turn himself into a beautiful rose. So she noticed him, she kissed him, and he was so full up. And that's love. It's always been the flower of love. It's a beauty. So enjoy it. You know, pick the roses while they're out, put them into your house. They smell glorious. Take the petals, make them into a jam, have them into a tea. The tea in its own right will help the stomach to calm. It's just a lovely, 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 lovely herb. You can even make yourself, without even distilling the rose water, you can just literally make a tea and just splash that on your face as a rose toner. The essential oil, add it to bars, put it on your pulse points. It is delicious, and it's just so divine. So enjoy this one. She is the queen of the flowers. Enjoy the queen. Thank you.